Now that the Senate has passed the one big beautiful bill, let's talk about the biggest win of the bill, which is the Trump savings account that's made for children. I'm going to go over the details of what it is and how exactly it's going to work. So if you have kids under the age of 8, this is a video for you. And if you're new to this page, my name's Rick. I help you turn daily news into daily profits. Now within the big beautiful bill, there was a section of it that referred to child savings accounts. And basically what it said is if you had children under the age of 8, the government would automatically put $1,000 into a savings account on behalf of your child. Now, the point of it was to help your child grow wealth, and how it was done was the government putting $1,000 into that child's account to get it started. And to encourage parents to continue to contribute to it, they also put a clause in there that said if parents put $5,000 into the account every single year, they can write that off on their taxes. So in a nutshell, it's a way for a child to get a head start on their investing. Now let's take a look into some details of what it could look like. We can see that Trump formally introduced his plan for the federal government to fund $1,000 into investment accounts for every newborn child over the next 4 years. The cash would be deposited into a private custodian account and grow tax-free until he or she reaches adulthood. And it goes on to state that parents, churches, charities, and employers can also contribute up to $5,000 a year to the account. At age 18, the young adults gain access to half of the funds to be used for college or skills training, to start a business, or even for a down payment on a house. So regardless if the child wants to go to school or buy a house or start a business, they have the funding to do it. But now, how exactly does this work? And to get an idea of how this might work, we can turn back to 2023, where Washington, D.C. was issuing baby bonds. And how it worked is the government would make an initial investment to open up the account on behalf of the child. Those funds are invested by the government on the child's behalf in order to grow. And then it says, at adulthood, recipients can use the funds to acquire assets that generate wealth or economic security. So the only difference here is how those funds could be used. Now, what this would look like in the case of the one big beautiful bill is the government would access the medical records for the children to make sure who qualifies and who doesn't. Based on that, they would then open up the accounts on behalf of the child and then let the parents know that this account has been opened up on their behalf. And then very similar to how baby bonds work, once the government invested that first $1,000, the parent would have access to the account in order to put money into it. And then when the child turns legal age, the account would be transferred to the recipient's bank of choice. And then the recipient would be able to use the funds for things like buying a house, starting a business, or paying for college. So that's what the child savings account in the one big beautiful bill could look like. And if you feel like you got value from this, please like, share, and follow.